were read now, and beat pleasantly on them. Sam amused himself by fitting branch into the fire as closely as possible. Eric spread out his hand, searching for the destination at wish. The head was just purpley, idly looking beyond the fire. He wrestled the scattered rock from their flat shadows into diamond contours. Just there was the big rock and the tree stone there. The split rock, and there beyond was a gap. Just there, Sam. Nothing. The flames were mustering the branch. The bark was curling and falling away. The wood exploding. The tin fell inward and flung a wide circle of light over the mountain top. Sam looked at Eric irritably. The intensity of Eric's gaze met the direction in which he looked terrible, for Sam had his back to it. He scrambled round the fire, squatted by Eric, and looked to say. They became motionlessly gripped in each other's arm, for an winking eyes aimed, and two mountains open fire pointed them. The tree of the forest sighed, then roared. The hair on their forehead fluttered, and flames blew out sideways from the fire. 15 years away from them came the blowing noise of fabric blown open. North of the boy screamed, but the grip of their arms 13, and their mount a grouse peaked, for perhaps that second they crushed like that well. The fleeting fire sent smoke and spark and wave of incandescent light over the top of the mountain. Then, as though they had but one terrified mind between them, they scrambled away over the rock and fled. Olaf was dreaming he had fallen asleep after what seemed hours of tossing and turning noisily amid the dry leaf. Even the sound of nightmare from the other shelter no longer reached him, for he was back to where he came from, feeding the boys with sugar over the garden well. Then Simon was shaking his arm, telling him that it was time for tea. Olaf, wake up! The leaves were roaring like the sea. Olaf, wake up! What's the matter? We see the best plane. How are you? The twins. We saw the best. Quite Biggie. The leaves were roaring still. Biggie bumped into him and at whim grappled him as he made for the oblong of playing start. You can't go out, it's horrible, Biggie. Where are the spear? I can hear it. Quit then, listen. They lay there listening, at first with doubt, but then were terrored. Through the description, the twins breathed at them between bounds of extreme silence. So the darkness was full of cloud, full of the awful and new and many and interminable dawn. Faded they start out, and at least light sad and grey filtered into the shelter. They began to stare of still. The world outside the shelter was impossible dangerous. The maze of the darkness sorted into near and far, and at the high point of the sky The clouds were warmed with color. A single sea bird flipped upward with a howl cry that was each other personality, and something squeaked in the forest. Now, streak of cloud near the horizon began to glow rosily, and the feathery top of the palm were green. Olaf knelt in the attention to the shelter and peered cautiously round him. Sam Eric called them to an assembly. Quietly go on, the twins holding tremulously to each other, dared a few years to the next shelter and spread the rifle new. Relapse stood up and walked for the sake of dignity. Tough with his back breaking to the platform. Becky and Simon followed him, and the other boy came sneaking after. Relapse took the conch from where it lay on the polished seat and held it to his lips. But then he hissed and did not blow. He held the shell up instead and shouted it to them, and they understood. The rays of the sun that were fanning upward from below the horizon swing downward, the eye level. Olaf looked for a moment at the growing sails of gold that led them from the right hand and made to make space possible. The circle of boy before him pushed still with a hanging spear. He handed the conch to Eric, the newest of the twins. "We have seen the best with our own eyes. No, we weren't asleep." Sam took up the story by custom, now unconscious for both twins, for their substacles ently was recognized. It was furry. There was something moved behind its head when the beast moved too. That was awful. It kind of set up. The fire was bright. We would just made it up. More stick on there were eyes. That claw we ran as fast as we could behind into tank. The beast followed us. I saw it slinking behind the tree. Nearly touched me. Relaf pointed fearfully at Eric's face, which was striped with scare where the bushes had torn him. "How did you do that?" Eric fell his face. "I am all rough. I am a beating." The circle of boys shrank away in horror. Johan Yawong still burst into noisy dirt and was slapped by Bill till he choked on them. The bright morning was full of joy, and the circle began to change. It faced out rather than in, and the spire of sharp wood were like a fence. Jack called them back to the center. "This will be a real hunt." "Oh, welcome." Olaf moved impatiently. "This spire are made of wood. Don't be silly." Jack sneered at him. "Frightened? Course I'm frightened. Who wouldn't be?" He turned to the twins. "You'll be hopeless. I suppose you aren't building or legs." Her reply was too emphatic for anyone to doubt them. Biggie took the conch. "Couldn't we kind of stay here? Maybe the beast won't come near us." But for the sense of something watching them, Relaf would have shouted at him, "Stay here and be crammed into the spit of the island, always on the lookout." "How shall we get our food? And what about the fire?" "Let's be moving," said Jack reluctantly. "We are wasting time." "No, we are not." "What about the littleness?" "Success to the littleness." Someone got to look after them. Nobody has so far. There was no need. No worries, Biggie. I will look after them. That's right. Keep Biggie out.